Hey, what is up, everybody? Welcome to the last ever episode of the Skeshbook podcast for 2019. Yeah, I'm getting used to saying 2020 already right now. So, in this episode, I just want to talk about a bunch of things about 2020, how my 2019 went, and what are some of the lessons that I've learned, and, hopefully, what are some of the things that I'm going to take with myself into 2020. So, let's get into the episode. All right, so I just went through what I did in 2019. Now I just looked at the goals that I set for myself in 2019, and I did a review of all the things, right, with my notebook right here. Just took some review of what happened, what I did, what are some of the things that I achieved, and looking back, I have to say this is the first year, right? I've actually. Let me just set my microphone a bit closer to myself. This is more comfortable. Yeah, good. So this is the first year that I've actually achieved my New Year's resolution ever in my entire life. I set a New Year's resolution last year and I achieved it this year. This has never happened in my entire life. But by the way, I've only been setting New Year's resolutions, say, since 2015 or something like that. So, yeah. Before that, it was just like a wish list. Oh, I want to be a millionaire. I want to be famous like Justin Bieber. Right? I mean, that's what you do, right? Like when you're young and dumb and broke. That's what you wanted to be, and if we didn't know anything better. So those are the kinds of, I wouldn't call them New Year's resolution. They were like dumb wish lists. This year I was like realistic for the first time ever. I think realistic. I have some notes and thoughts on that which I want to share later in this podcast. But let me just quickly go over some of the things which happened, like some of the highlights of my last year. I don't think I've noted everything down, but this seems like the thing that just came to the top of my head in the last 30 minutes. So a couple of things, good things that happened last year was one, by the way, right, for the first half of 2019, the year didn't start out right for me. I'll tell you that. I was very confused at the start of 2019. YouTube was like very weird for me. I didn't like exactly the kind of content I was making, and it was boring. For the first 2 or 3 months, I didn't do much in the first half of 2019. But later on, I picked up the pace. First up, right? Let's talk about YouTube. YouTube was like it is a big part of my life. I set myself a goal last year to make 52 YouTube videos. I made 30, which is great, awesome. One more video still in the bank. We're working on that. So once that video goes out, 31 YouTube videos, and that's not counting all the other minuscule, mini, tiny content that I made for my second channel, and some 1 or 2 videos which I made for like some brands and things like that. So yeah, pretty good year. So all these videos did take time, and each and every single video took different lengths of time for me to make. So idea was to make a video every week in 2019, which didn't happen, but because some videos took me, say, around 2 weeks, 3 weeks, sometimes some videos even took a month for me to make. So that's a lot of time for me to spend on making videos. But I did make 30 YouTube videos. I'm very proud of that, and the YouTube channel gained over 100,000 subscribers last year. So awesome, that's really great. And I made 7 podcast episodes since September. So this is another podcast episode. I'm really trying to be consistent with me making my podcast, because this is my place for me to think and do stuff like that, right? Like think and articulate thoughts and share ideas and stuff like that. So 7 podcast episodes since September, which is pretty damn good, if you ask me. I think, this is the 7th episode. So yeah, technically 7 episodes. And 7 million views last year on YouTube. That's a big number. If you think about it, like 7 million people sitting in a stadium. I'm trying to do all kinds of these positive affirmation thingies in my head, because my brain by default goes into the negative mode of thinking, oh wait, it's just 7 million. It's not 10 million, it's just 7 million, right? So to be honest, 7 million is a pretty big number, right? So yeah, I'm very happy and very boggled in the good way looking at these numbers. Instagram was really awesome. I made 288 posts, grown by 55,000 followers. I was 25,000 followers at the start of this year, right now at nearly 80,000, and 1.1 million likes. I don't like to go over these vanity metrics. I'll give you that first. Like, these are all vanity metrics, like, oh, this many subscribers, this many things. But there aren't any quantifiable things that I can use to judge progress. So I have to go through these things. So bear with me, right? So let's get into the projects, with these vanity metrics on Instagram and YouTube and all that crap. So one of the biggest projects of last year was 100 days of sketching. Launched and finished that thing. One of the most successful projects I've ever done. When we started the challenge, I think I've mentioned this before, right? Around about 35 to 40,000 posts, 40,000 plus posts have been done by people under the challenge. And I personally know at least 50 to 60 people who have actually completed the entire challenge because I've actually selected them. I think we have over 100 to 200 people who have actually did a drawing every single day for 100 days, right? I know them. Then I've actually met a couple of them who have actually showed me their 100. I keep seeing people, right? I keep seeing people in my workshops and things. They all like, Keshav, I finished 100 days of sketching. Here's my book full of 100 drawings. That's amazing. That's like the biggest achievement for me this year, right? To make or to be a part in the process of making that many people take action and start and finish a project. Through that is one of the biggest things. And over 35 to 40,000 people I've at least drawn once in this challenge, which is amazing, right? Next year is going to be even bigger. I know that for sure. 100 days of sketching is going to be a thing. It's going to be the thing. I'm sure about that. So that is one. And I've personally made over 100 illustrations as part of that challenge, which is awesome, which is really great, right? Like 100 of those 288 posts have come from 100 days of sketching. So on Instagram. So that has been a game changer for me in terms of my artistic abilities. I've improved so much in that 100 days. It's crazy, right? So that is one. And this is the part where I achieved my New Year's resolution. I wanted to create and launch 2 drawing courses online, right? Get into the process of creating products and sharing it with, out there, with the people in the world. So that was one of my biggest goals last year, and I did it. I launched and published 2 drawing courses, which took a considerable amount of time for me to make, but I did it. It approximately 2.5 months of solid work put together. Yeah. So that's like a big achievement for me. And I've conducted, say, around 10 plus workshops, probably taught over, say, 200 plus students live. I think that number is way too low. I think I'm just throwing that number out of my head because it was like 50 people, 25 to 50 people average per workshop. 50 in the last couple of workshops have just been getting sold out. And
I think it's almost 750 people.
Okay, it wasn't always 50. The number was like 35 to 50 only for the past 5 workshops. Yeah, that's nice. 500. Wow. At least around about 250 people. I don't know. So maybe, I don't know. Let's keep it safe and let's say 150. Actually, it's more than that. Way more than that. Yeah, it was like 150 in just 3 workshops. So around more than 200 people. I've taught more than 200 people live, 200 to 250 people live, and every single one of them liked it. Not like loved it, because I keep looking at these feedback forms, and everyone is like 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars. I'm not bragging right here. Trust me. This is. I don't know. I don't know if this is the case for workshops or I'm really good at this. I don't know which part is true. So that thing has been amazing, right? One of the and also this was the first year I've ever got inside of a airplane, a flight. I've never flown before in my entire life. Too broke to fly, right? This year I made more money than I want to, and you can never make more money than you want to. I think I'm the most financially comfortable ever in my entire life. I'll tell you that, all because of I made some right decisions. So I got to fly for the first time, saw the clouds, and everything looked so tiny down below, right? It was like, wow, this is how things work. It was a night flight for the first time, but when I traveled to Hyderabad, I saw clouds, right? Like real clouds. It was like flying in midst of floating castles. It was really amazing to watch that. I paid for my own flight. How cool is that? Like, yeah, that's awesome. My brother, who's like 5 years old, right? He's gone to Japan already. Japan or Singapore, I don't know. Malaysia or Dubai, I don't know. Yeah. His parents paid his flight. I paid my own flight. I'm talking smack with my 5-year-old brother. That's so bad. Anyways, so that I'd like to sort of think of all these little tiny things this year, because I've definitely been more grateful than past years, because that has positively affected my mentality a lot. I've learned to look at the half glass full part of my life, which has really helped me stay more optimistic about things, which is really nice. I've practiced a lot of gratitude, and that has really, really, really helped me. And that's one of the things, man. I also finished my Inktober project. Made 21 illustrations. No, 12 illustrations, 12 square illustrations, which did take a lot of time. I wanted to make 31, but I made 12. So yeah. So these are all like some of the highlights of my year, right? So what I want to really talk about is, right, what did I learn? How did I go about doing things? How can I make 2020 the year, right? I want to really double my productivity, double my things. I want to be a better person 2020. See, I don't believe in setting New Year's resolution, because just like another date on the calendar, it's like not much. But there's something about that New Year that's like everyone wants to make a damn change. Everyone wants to get into the gym, lose weight, get some six-pack abs. Right? There's something that's so weird. No, I wouldn't say, because there is something really profound about the New Year, which is like the Earth is completing its 365-day marathon that day. So it calls for a celebration, right? So people are celebrating, happy, and they want to make a positive change in their life. So some of the things that I've learned, or some of the things that I'm going to take away with myself for the next year. I'm still thinking about this, because I'm still thinking of setting goals for the next year. So speaking of setting goals, I don't set goals, meaning a year is a way big amount of time for you to just set one goal and just focus on it, because things change, people change, opportunities change. You'll never know what comes, right? Even though I set lots of goals at the start of 2019, I've only achieved one of those things, but I did a lot of other things which I didn't set out to do, right? So one, I don't set goals. What I do is I approach things on a project. Man, I forgot to switch off my phone, man. Sorry. Yeah. Switching off my phone. So, wow, I'm so distracted for this podcast. Anyways, approaching things with a 6-month project basis has helped me a lot. This is a trick I learned from this guy named Tim Ferriss. You probably know him. He's an author. He's this big popular dude. Just Google him. He's got something. He's got it, the Tim Ferriss podcast. He talks about 2-week experiments and 6-month projects. Meaning, you start something, you go at it as an experiment for, say, a period of 1 or 2 weeks. If it works out, turn it into a 6-month project, get it done, get it over with, put it out, done, finished. Then, that's it, right? That's how I approach things, and that was one of the biggest ways I was able to sort of achieve, say, multiple things this year, despite my huge want to procrastinate and just waste my days away with complete and utter bullcrap. So this was the thing. Focusing on one project at a time and going at it, say, 3 to 6 months at a time, and just doing. If you did, say, 3 to 4 projects a year, 3 to 4 meaningful, good projects a year, that's like in 5 years you would have completed what? 3 4s are, no, 4 5s are 20, yeah, 20 projects. 20 projects a year, right? I mean, not a year, 20 projects in 5 years. 20 projects in 5 years is a lot of time. Think about it. It's 20 meaningful projects. Man, whenever I record these things, Sashi, I think we need to close that door. But whenever I record these podcasts, man, people just go ahead, and I should stop recording things in the evening. Anyways, I don't think you'll be able to hear that. I'm able to hear that, some noises. Anyways, yeah, 20 projects in, say, 5 years. Wow, now there's a lot of echo in this room. So 20 projects in 5 years is a big number, provided all those 20 projects are really meaningful. Maybe I think we need to open the door slightly. Yeah, sorry guys. We're keeping this real right here, right? Yeah, I think that is good. Yeah, fine. This is fine. Man, I'm so sorry about this. Anyways, actually, I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry. So, focusing on one project at a time is a big thing that I've learned this year. And spending 1 month on one project, getting it done, or 1 or 2 months if a project is really big, getting it done, getting it out there, focusing on that has helped me a lot. Because me as an artist, right, I'm a person who wants to do everything. I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do another thing, I want to write comics, I want to draw illustrations, I want to make a book, I want to make YouTube videos, I want to make short films, animated films, I don't know, feature films, I don't know, something, right? I want to do all these things. The thing is, I think I can do them all, but I don't think I can do all of them at the same time. So focusing on one thing at a time, even though we know this, right? I know this thing. Oh, I need to focus on one thing at a time. Am I doing it? Yeah, I've only did it in 2019. Before that, I know that. I knew it. I knew I had to focus on one thing at a time, but I didn't do it. Funny quote, which I want to insert here. Funny thought, not a funny thought. An interesting thought from Jordan Peterson. He says, one of the ways you can test if you actually believe something is actually note your actions or see your actions. If your actions doesn't match your belief, then means you don't actually believe that thing. You're just lying to yourself saying that you believe that thing. If you actually believe that thing, you act out your belief, sort of. Yeah, something like that. So, yeah, I've acted out my belief last year. Focus. Focus is so underrated in this world of distraction and social media and 20-second TikTok videos. But yeah, right, man, we're going into an age of completely, I don't think we're going to have a worse attention span than that of a goldfish in like 2 years max. Like, people won't be able to focus on stuff. Like, yeah, anyways, ranting. So another lesson is, right, I have these couple of lessons. I have like 7 to 8 lessons that I want to share quickly. So first one is focus on one project at a time. Focus on 6-month projects or 3-month projects or 1-month project, depending on how long you can maintain your focus. So that is 1. 2 is stopping hopping around. How do I phrase this? Stop hopping around from one thing to another thing without actually finishing that thing. I have this problem called screw arounditis. I've even considered making a video. It's a disease. The disease is you screw around from one thing to another thing because you have multiple passions and multiple interests and you cannot pick one. It's the worst thing that you can do. And I did that with my workouts this year. My workouts have been horrible, right? My health wise has been horrible. But last half of the year, I got a trainer, I focused, I made some progress. So that was good. But the first time I was just screwing around, like one thing to another thing to another thing to another thing, jumping around, hoping that the next thing will be better, right? It never works out. You're way better off seeing one thing through and finishing it rather than just jumping around from one to another to another to another. So I had this problem. So what I'm doing is I'm setting myself some accountability this year in terms of working out. So I'm doing this thing called 100 days starting January 1st. I think I might start it a little earlier. I don't want to wait till January 1st. And I'm going to focus on one program, getting that thing done, seeing the results, moving on to the next one at a time. So yeah, hopping around from one thing to another thing, especially when you're a passionate creative, man, it doesn't work out, man. It doesn't work out. And at least it hasn't for me. So the third biggest lesson of the year is to build tiny habits instead of trying to build huge habits. Either go tiny or either go big. Meaning, either your habit should be so easy you don't even have to think about it, or your habit should be so hard and life transforming you just focus on that thing and get that thing done. Either you pick a habit of doing one push-up every day for the next year to get into a habit of exercising, or you can just set yourself a big goal of wanting to work out every day for 1 hour a day, but know that that's the only thing that you can do. You won't be able to focus on other things in your life because it takes a lot of willpower and focus to get that thing done. Tiny habits have been awesome. I'm ever since I came across it 2.5 weeks back, I'm just like constantly talking about it. So I've adopted, I forgot to do my tiny habit today. Damn it. I broke the ritual. One of them, I have 3 tiny habits. I forgot to do one. But the other one evolved into something bigger. One of my habits was to meditate for 3 breaths every morning. After I drink my water, right? So since today, I started meditating for longer. I've been meditating for longer than 3 breaths, right? I'm like sitting down, I feel good. I'm just like meditating. And a couple of minutes gets past and I open my eyes and I feel, man, it's good. It's nice, right? So that's the thing. So you start out tiny and eventually that habit sort of evolves and, turns into something bigger. One of my habits was to do 2 push-ups after going to the bathroom every single time. I'm doing a lot of push-ups and I'm feeling really lean these days, and lean in the sense I feel good. I feel hot in the sense I feel hot in the sense I'm doing a lot of activity. My body's like really heating up. So that's the thing. See, it's simple habits, simple things, man. Tiny changes. Putting our ego down for a second, it's good to aim big, but being unrealistic as to how within what time frame you need to achieve that is what's sort of setting us ourselves up for failure, right? And focusing on these mini tiny habits and doing those things has helped me way more this year than anything else. So yeah, I'm making a video on it. I want to talk about it. It can be as insignificant as drawing 1 line a day. You know what? Some of you can take up this New Year resolution. Most of you won't. I have taken up one. You can take up a New Year's resolution of drawing 1 line a day. A line is going to probably take you 30 seconds. But 99% of the time, or 80% of the time, or 77.2% of the time, you'll draw more than 1 line, right? You can write 1 word a day. 1 word, if you're a writer, right? 1 word. You'll probably write more than 1 word. Definitely. But our ego is too big to see that as a challenge, and we won't take it up because we are too good. And we'll only wake up on December 31st, 2020 to say, man, I wish I had taken up that challenge. So I've taken up the challenge of doing one pull-up a day for 2019. So hopefully if I don't have any injuries, if I don't get sick, if I don't have any elbow tendonitis from drawing too much, hopefully that'll be good. So I'm going to be doing one pull-up every day for 2019.
Sorry, 2020.
2020, yeah. So, sorry, yeah, 2020. Yeah, I couldn't do one. I need to go back in time to do that. So, yeah, I'm going to do one pull-up in 2019. Check out this book called Mini Habits by Stephen Guise. Really, really good book. Really good book. So, yeah, Sashi is getting some cough right now. I think he can just cough right here. I don't mind. We have a very real podcast right here. By the way, this is the first year I've got myself a full-time video producer. Sashikant, say
Hello.
hi. Hello, see, that's Sashikant right there. He's my very good best friend from college. He's my only friend from college.
Same joke.
Same Joanna. Yeah, we were the only kids in our program who wanted to be there because we wanted to make films. Other people they got into it because they didn't want to do engineering or doctorate or some other crap Indian parents force their children to do. So yeah. So anyways, yeah, he's our video producer. He's editing a lot of things these days. He's doing a good job. Maybe y'all can give him a clap. I don't think he can hear that clap. I think he's clapping for himself right now. So anyways, yeah. So that is number 3, right? Building tiny habits. Number 4. This is another thing that I'm thinking of doing this year. So after this podcast, right, this podcast is where I think about things. After this podcast, I'll be going back and setting some good goals for myself or good projects for myself for this year. Realistically, see what I can achieve and what I can do and go from there. So the 4th one is stop procrastinating by doing this one little thing, which is blocking out 2 to 3 hours per day, focusing on your one big project, making progress, and calling it a day. This seems so simple, but like the one-line habit, right? If you block out 2 to 3 hours a day, every weekday or something like that, 19 good chance that you'll do more, right? Most of the days. Be focused. I think I'm going to definitely do this. Yeah, I think I'm going to do this. Yeah, I'm definitely doing this. I'm going to block out, say, because my theory has always been, right, you won't be wasting your days by procrastinating, which is a big problem of mine. If you just did one good high quality thing a day, the day won't be wasted. You do a couple of these good daily rituals every day, like say you work out for 30 to 45 minutes. You get one good high quality project done. You focus on it for 2 to 3 hours of that day. You get that thing done and you eat well, you sleep well, you do some drawing if you're a creative person, and do a couple of other things, right? Meditate or journal. Have 5 to 6 habits that you want to do every single day or if you do it on most days, that day is considered to be productive. Man, that's a successful day. You have more successful days, you have more successful years, more successful life. So one thing a day is my philosophy, is my thing. Okay, I'll definitely try this out. I'm going to try this out for the first 2 or 3 weeks of 2019, see how it goes and go from there. And another thing, you don't have to set a New Year's resolution. You can set a new week's resolution or a new month resolution. See how that thing goes, test it out, then actually you can probably try out a New Year's resolution. So that's another thought that's coming up into my head. This is a jumbled podcast, but I just want to get it out there. I have a lot of New Year's thingies or vibes going on, right? So that is one. I mean, there's a 4th thing. 5th thing is here. This is the thing. I think I've aimed too low last year. I think it's way better to set really big goals, but not unrealistic goals. I'm saying, say, big goals, meaning goals that stretch yourself a lot. If you can do more, do more. Those are the kinds of the big goals that I'm talking about. If we really set some big goals, even if we fail at those big goals, we'll end up a lot farther than if we had just set small goals. And I'm going to contradict that by saying, set really small goals that are so damn easy that you'll know that you'll hit it 100%. It's better to play in these extremes, setting extremely big goals and setting extremely small goals. So this is just thought. I need to think this out through, but I need to talk it out to sort of refine it. Sort of setting these mediocre middle goal. That's what mediocrity means, right? I learned the meaning of mediocrity. The word mediocrity comes from the Greek word medius ocris, meaning literally middle of the mountain, right? That's what it means. Either be at the bottom of the mountain or at the top of the mountain. Being in the middle of the mountain, like, why are you in the middle of the mountain? Right? Meaning, say, the top of the mountain depends. What that means changes from person to person. My top of the mountain might not be what Sashikant's top of the mountain, right? My bottom of the mountain might not be what someone else's bottom of the mountain. So yeah, whatever that's really ambitious for you, aim for that, but set a really easy thing that you can achieve. Build up. That's something that we can try, right? Setting big goals without fear, or with fear, whatever, but really setting not unrealistic goals. I think it takes a lot of practice. It takes a couple of years of setting New Year's resolution to know the difference between setting big goals and setting unrealistic goals. I've set unrealistic goals, right? Setting big goals is way different. So I think, I don't know what, people need to sort of experiment and find out what big means for them. So 6th one is doing an 80-20 analysis every year or every month. Which is a good thing. Another trick I learned from Tim Ferriss is to, instead of trying to set New Year's resolution, you can try this. I don't set goals actually. I set projects. I want to rephrase that. I don't set goals. I'd rather set projects or systems or habits. A project might be, I need to get fit. Okay, what exactly fit means? Okay, get to this weight, get to this thing, specifics. And it has a time frame. It has a deadline. That's what I mean by projects. A project is something that you can get it done. A goal is like sort of like a hit or miss thing, which is sort of messes with people's head. So yeah, doing an 80-20 analysis, which is you can just divide your paper into two, right? Plus and minus, and say, what is the biggest thing that affected, what is the 20% of the thing last year which gave me 80% of the results? If I look at it, say 20% of the things which gave me 80% of the happiness last year, what are those things? Teaching. I really love that part. I really like going to workshops. Making YouTube videos once in a while, but not all the time. Yeah, that really does make me happy. So that is one. And podcasts. These are fun. I like to do that. I like to do more of that. Drawing makes me really, really happy. Drawing illustrations. As long as it is on video. Weirdly, something. I think I'm not exactly happy at my happiest when I make weekly videos, because weekly videos are really hard and you just need to have to focus on them, just those things. And if those weekly videos don't have any drawing in them or illustrative aspects in them, I get bored. So yeah, right. Making high quality videos once in a while, that makes me happy. Maybe I should probably do all those things. Okay, so what are the 20% of the things that gave me 80% of the negative emotions last year? Let me see. Well, procrastinating, definitely. What else? I'm just thinking. Doing a lot of these bad habits and bad behaviors in my day-to-day lives, definitely that needs to go. And what else? Not doing my one thing for the day and just procrastinating and watching YouTube videos. So that is another thing. See, what you can do is next year you can go like, okay, I'll do more of the pluses, less of the minus. You don't have to completely eliminate it. Rather, you can go, I'm going to do more of this, less of this, more of this, less of this. Over say 5 years, you'll be doing a lot more of this, a lot less of this. That's way better. I definitely stop, binge eating. I think I've really gotten good at that in the last 6 months, ever since I hired a personal trainer. So yeah, binge eating, gone. Yeah, that's a plus point. That's actually a thing. My entire family suffers from binge eating. So yeah, that's a plus side that I don't have that problem, at least to a big degree. So yeah, 6th one is doing an 80-20 analysis. Seventh one, last one, which I have is to maintain an accomplishment journal. I tried doing that last year. I didn't follow through on it because it was not a proper system. I think I want to do it this year because I don't remember a lot of good things I did last year because I don't remember because I haven't noted down, because I did do a lot of good things happy and a lot of even more things I've accomplished last year, but I don't have a track of those things. I think I need to do this thing which writer Austin Kleon does, which is he maintains a logbook where he just makes a log of his days. He just writes down, oh, I went to this, did this, and at the end of the year he probably goes back at it. Let's see if I can do that. Whatever change that you want to make, you have to be specific as to say when are you going to do it, where are you going to do it, and what particular you need to build it into your existing daily routine. That's how tiny habits work for me. If you're just throwing out an arbitrary habit, which is I want to work out 1 hour every day, okay, when, where, after which thing that you're already doing that you're going to do this particular new habit. If you're not clear and specific about that new habit isn't going to stick. I've learned that. I've built a habit of meditating consistently for months for months and months and months, but completely stopped doing that before because I didn't specify when and where I was going to do that habit. These things seem so trivial, but man, these are things that brings the actual change that you want to see in your life, right? So I feel like a self-help guru right now. So knowing when and where, and also forming identity-based habits is way better than non-identity based habits. Anyway, these are all like very specific things that I'm mentioning here. If you want to know more about habits and habit building and all these things, go check out Atomic Habits by James Clear. Really good book. I'm listening to the audiobook right now. I'm focusing on building good quality habits next year. Good quality tiny habits. I'm not focusing on big habits. I'm just going to focus on tiny habits next year. See where that leads. Who knows, right? Just focus on one pull-up a day, right? Eating my multivitamins, doing push-ups. Then what else? What was the other thing? Yeah, meditating. So, things like that. My meditation has evolved right now. I felt so good this morning. It was amazing. I haven't felt like that because I've meditated for like 7, 8, 9 months consistently. Then I stopped. Ever since then, I've been trying to get back at it. And for some reason, it felt boring. I wasn't able to do it. I don't know, something felt wrong. Then I took on this tiny habit. Then I saw myself as a person who meditates rather than trying to build a meditating habit, because identity based habits, right? Meaning you would do a thing if you form an identity around it rather than trying to build a behavior around it. If you're way better off saying I'm a guy or a girl who works out, rather than say I'm going to work out for 30 minutes or I'm going to work out every day or something like that. That's the difference. That was the biggest lesson. Another thing, right? Form an identity. This is what I want to end this podcast.